Hey, it's a hot one, everybody. I'm Joe List.
Mark Norman here.
We got a great episode. One of our favorite buddies, Henry Phillips, is in, and boy, it's a classic. We got some humdingers here.
Stories all day long.
Yeah, tune in. We close on a real classic, so enjoy the up, everybody.
Enjoy.
Hey, Mark, I can't help but notice you got a brand new hoodie, and it looks great.
It looks great, it feels great, and it smells great because it's a Mack Weldon.
Oh, I love Mack Weldon.
New favorite clothing apparel to wear.
Totally new favorite clothing. They sent us a bunch of clothes for free, and we are wearing them. I got the underwear on right now. They're reversible. They never stink. They're for everyday use.
And you look great in them. Can I say that?
Thank you very much. I got to find my Mack Weldon pants because these shorts are all I'm wearing because they look so great.
They're great, and I got to say the website was easy to use. I'm an idiot, and I found everything beautifully, and I feel great, and I smell great, and I'm wearing these underwear 12 days in a row.
Yeah, get over there. They're the no stink, even when you're in the pink underwear. MackWeldon.com. Get 20% off. Use the promo code Tuesdays, folks. Tuesdays.
Yes.
And I'm going to go get more. They sent us some free stuff. I'm wearing it right now. I'm going to go back and get more. Are you?
I'm a huge fan, and I got to say, these underwear, they're tight and loose at the same time. It's perfect. Tight and loose, baby.
Yes, Mack Weldon, everybody. MackWeldon.com. 20% off. Promo code Tuesdays. Go do it right now.
Get in there. Yeah.
Stand Up Labs presents Tuesdays with Stories.
Woo-wee.
Powered by digital media. Find your voice.
Wow.
Hey, Mark, fake banter for the intro.
That's all I know how to do.
Great.
Good to be here.
Welcome to Tuesdays with...
Stories.
And she didn't even flush.
Knock, knock.
Who's there? Mark Norman and Joe List.
Yeah! This is Tuesdays with Stories, everybody. This is supposed to be cheesy. Hey, that's funny.
My radio is spitting at me.
Oh, hey, farts and...
Anal.
Yeah, anal. There you
Hey,
go. Thank you.
Great radio team out of Cincinnati. Farts and anal.
Those are similar, by the way. Well, let's get right in there, folks. Everybody's least favorite words and Tuesdays with Stories.
Not the N-word, believe it or not.
Yeah, they love the N-word.
Yeah.
Folks, we have a guest.
Oh, no!
You can hear the radio clicking off.
Yeah.
We're not on the radio.
A lot of laptops just closed.
But can I say this? It's a dream guest.
Oh, we wanted this guy for years.
Years, and when we started the show, we had him in mind, and really want to put a lot of pressure on you here, Hen.
Thanks.
Yeah.
One of the greats, Henry Phillips, is here, everybody.
Woo, best
Thanks,
stories
guys.
in the biz.
It's good to say one of the greats, but not specify what area.
Aha.
Just a great.
Just one of the greats.
Great
Yeah.
ankles.
He's great at walking.
Yeah.
Hell of an ankle, star of Punching the Clown, and writer,
Uh-huh.
which we've plugged in the show many times. If you haven't seen this movie, get out, pause, go watch the movie, and come back.
And
Yes.
Joe got to watch the new one last night.
Yeah,
So-
the sequel, and Punching the Clown.
And Punching the Clown, which is based on. Can I tell the story of why it's called And Punching the Clown?
Yes, please.
Well, apparently in the movie business, there's a trick where if you title your movie something that starts with something high in the alphabet, like A, then you get placed more optimal placement in like video listings. Like if you're on the plane, it'll go through like A through C,
Right.
or video on demand or whatever. So we called it And Punching the Clown.
Nice.
And yeah, most movies will do that and try to cover it up, like make it like, like if the movie was called something like,
It's like A Wives' Tale.
yeah,
Yeah, not
People-
Wives'
yeah,
An
They'll
American
somehow
Tale.
try to get the A.
Yeah,
at the
right.
beginning. I wanted to call it Punching the Clown, but that was just a little too ridiculous. But And Punching the Clown we've got, and hopefully the title is the funniest joke about the whole movie.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, I hope
The movie is amazing. The first movie is amazing. The second movie is amazing, and it stars Henry Phillips, Sarah Silverman, Tig Notaro, Joe List,
right.
Jim Jeffries, Doug Stanhope, and the list goes on and on. Nikki Glazer's in there. Sarah Talamash is in there.
Mike Judge,
Mike Judge.
Brendan
Ooh.
Walsh.
Yeah,
Nice.
a lot of just superstars in there.
Good
Yeah.
roster.
Oh, it's fun.
Superstar comedians. And yeah, we had a little party last night. We showed the movie. The movie's killer. The first movie's amazing as well. Go check it out if you haven't already. I think most of them have seen it, though. We talk about it a lot.
Yeah. I love the first one, but I gotta rewatch it. I want to rewatch it before I see the second one.
Aha.
Yeah, and it's funny because we all like telling stories, obviously, and that's basically what the movie came from. Is I just used to tell the director all these stories, and I'd be like, "Yeah, I had this manager who was like, you should call yourself James Taylor on Smack," and I was like, "Well, from what I understand, James Taylor actually was Smack, right? That's like just saying James Taylor, or like, Ike Turner if he was a wife-beating cokehead or something like that. It just doesn't make sense. And she was just like, whoa, okay, all right, well, we'll figure it out. And then sure enough, there was like an article that she had paid for some LA Weekly thing, and it just said, Henry, who's been called James Taylor on Smack. And I'm like, wow, who's called me that except for...
Yeah.
But, so I would tell the director these stories, and he would just be like, man, we got to make a movie about this stuff. And we did eventually. And now we just made another one.
It's unbelievable you've made 2 movies. I mean, do you sit and go, that's crazy, I've made 2 movies. And they're good movies. Like anyone can make a couple of porns.
You'd be surprised. I won't be completely satisfied until there's a trilogy. And if there's a trilogy, I want the third one to take place in the early 90s and to be about when I started comedy.
Right.
Get somebody else to get like a 24-year-old guy to play me, because they say write what you know, and it's like I just know so much about that era. And it was it's a weird era now because it's the most modern thing before all the all the technology, smartphones and social media and all that stuff. So it was really like a different time.
Oh, sure.
And trying to do comedy back then, it's just like you'd get an actual newspaper that would say the listings for the, open mic nights.
Wow,
and stuff.
weird.
Yeah.
I always think back to road gigs. Like, I got the GPS out there. I'm driving through bumfuck Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
And like, you must have had to like get a map out back
Yeah,
then.
pretty
you
much.
get lost. You got a payphone.
Payphones.
You'd have to,
Crazy.
I remember making calls on payphones.
Yeah. Like,
You'd
what
have
if
to
you don't have a
write
quarter?
down all your directions ahead of time.
Yeah.
But people were better at giving directions because you had to be. There was
yes.
none of this, it's just on the corner of whatever. You
Right,
know?
right.
It just like, because you know somebody can call you when they get there. So.
Right.
Yeah, well, now you don't even have... People don't even give an address anymore. That's over. Now they just say, like, the name of the building.
Yeah.
It was like, it's Stand Up New York, you do all the other shit.
Yeah, you do
right.
everything else.
But I had an idea for Scrap because I started in 2000, which feels more recent, but it sounds modern. But
Yeah.
even then, I remember like I had to print directions all the time and writing on a piece of paper. And I wanted to have a scrapbook because I had so many handwritten. My car, the passenger seat, was just filled with like handwritten directions everywhere.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
like MapQuest printed out and all that shit.
Right.
When did you start? You started in '74.
I started comedy in '94. I started developing an act. 22 years now.
Holy hell.
And it took me until about '99 before I actually had like a half hour of material that I could do in front of a comedy club. And Doug Stanhope brought me out as his opener.
Nice.
And he showed me the Houston Laugh Stop, which was a huge scene at the time. And then there was Minneapolis, Acme Comedy Club, and there was a whole bunch of gigs that he turned me on to that I still, I don't still play in Houston, but I still play in Minneapolis. They were great clubs, and it was just a great introduction to the scene,
Minneapolis.
And you played. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I was going to say Minneapolis is a fun town.
Yes. Oh yeah. I think
Anything crazy ever happened there?
You played.
actually I've had a lot of crazy things happen there. Should we get right into the story?
Get into the story.
I was telling Mark a story before, actually, Joe, before you got here, and it was before we started running the thing. And I'm not sure that you're familiar with it, Joe, but this was going to make it into our new movie, but it didn't. But I got an email from a girl who I later found out was extremely wealthy. She was married to a guy who owns a whole bunch of hotels and stuff in Minneapolis, and she called and said that her husband was one of my biggest fans.
Yeah.
And which I was already surprised because I'm like, well, I'm always at the comedy club and I've never heard of this guy or seen him or anything. But anyway, she offered me a sort of decent amount of money to go out and do a private party that they were having for this guy's 40th birthday. And I was like, yeah, sure. So I get there. And it was in the suburbs, and it was at like a restaurant. And when we went in there, they had taken over the whole restaurant. The guy wasn't there. It was a surprise party. And like the average age, I guess the average age was like 40, but it was only because half the people were 80 and half of them were 2 or whatever.
Right.
Like, that was the median. But so there was absolutely... like, I had to be completely clean, already. I'm just like, this is terrible. This isn't even drunk people or anything like that. It's not what I'm used to. Mm-hmm. And she said, okay, so you have to hide because you're going to be the big surprise. So there's literally a utility closet like behind this shitty little microphone that they had where I was supposed to be performing. And so she puts me in there and she goes, what we'll do is I'll just stay in here, and then he's going to come in. You're going to hear the whole surprise thing. We're going to socialize a bit. We're going to have some dinner. And then at some point, you're going to come out and do your thing. And I'm like, oh, God. But again, it's a paycheck. And also, there was part of it, the fact that, the guy, it was going to mean so much to this guy, it kind of made me feel good,
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of closet are we? Is it like a broom closet?
It was a pretty large janitor closet, basically.
Okay.
There's like a mop and rags and stuff like that,
Paint thinner.
And, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was recent enough that I had my smartphone, but it wasn't a very good one. It was like an early, like a Trio or something. So I had some shitty game called Kerplop or something that I was able to play for like an hour.
Wow.
And,
an hour?
Yeah. And
Jesus.
it was absolutely an hour. No, I heard people
Wow.
coming in and reminiscing about old times. Oh, Uncle Bob's here and everything. Oh, this guy's going to be so happy when he gets here.
So
And-
you can hear it out there and shit.
Oh, yeah, I
man.
can hear people reminiscing, having
Boy.
a beer and everything. The guy hadn't shown up. Finally, eventually, he's coming.
Jeez.
And
Thank God nobody needed like ammonia.
yeah.
They should have given you a girl or something. Put it
I
like
know,
60
man.
minutes in heaven.
Or a paddle ball,
just me staring at my Trio. And so they do the big surprise thing, and then they eat dinner. And afterward, they're like, all right, well, she gets up there at the podium, and she's like, honey, I want to introduce you to, the biggest surprise ever. For your 40th birthday, I got your favorite comedian. Give it up for Henry Phillips. And then she opens the closet door, and I walk out, and it's just like this guy coming out of the closet with a, guitar. And so, I go, hey, and I'm looking at the guy's face. He couldn't be less familiar with who I am. Like, he has no idea. He looks confused, and
Right,
he
yeah.
looks like he's trying to hide it. And then I kind of see them talking to each other. Wow, who is this? I don't think I really know who this guy is. It's like, no, this is the guy. Remember, he was the one that you said you saw a guy at the Acme Comedy Club that was, the guitar. You said guitar. It's like, yeah, that's not. Yeah, that was another guy. This isn't who it is.
Oh,
It's
my
like-
God.
And so then they start kind of arguing a little bit, and then I'm up there trying to do whatever shitty jokes that I have left from like the first 5 months of when I wrote stand up that wasn't dirty yet.
Yeah,
You know?
right.
And so it's not even the best of anything that I do. So it really bombed. But they were really they were pretty friendly. And one other funny thing that happened at the thing afterward, I wound up drinking with everybody because, of course, and I sort of was hanging out with this one dude who was like the guy's brother-in-law or something like that. And we went out in the front to have a cigarette, and this truck comes by and goes, faggot. And both of us start laughing. The guy and I both start laughing.
Yeah.
And he's like, that was hilarious. And I'm like, yeah, no, that was pretty funny. And then I'm thinking it's kind of cool because I think this was a pretty conservative bunch. It was very wealthy, and it was also in the suburbs, in the Midwest and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, cool. This guy gets it. He's laughing at the ridiculousness of homophobia and
Right,
stuff like that.
right.
So anyway, we walk in. And we're both still laughing at how ridiculous that was.
Yeah.
And then somebody sees us laughing and goes, hey, what are you guys laughing at? And then the guy that I was with goes, somebody called Henry a faggot. And I wanted to be like, well, wait a second. We're both standing
Yeah.
there. There's two guys there.
Right.
And he just said faggot. He didn't say Henry's a faggot. He didn't say the guy on the right's a faggot.
Right.
He just said faggot. So anyway, the whole time the guy, I thought I was bonding with this guy. It turns out he was laughing at the fact that he thought somebody called me. a
Right,
faggot.
right.
It was just a foregone conclusion
Yeah.
that I must have been the one.
Right, right.
So anyway, hey, the check cleared. I certainly
Yeah.
didn't sell any merchandise or whatever, but
You got some more d'oeuvres and some beers?
yeah.
I wonder who
yeah.
the comment was. Was it Stephen Lynch?
That's
or
what I was
something?
thinking.
I was gonna say him, but I think he was way too big to even be doing the club
Oh.
scene at that time.
It was
you
Pat
know?
Godwin.
Maybe.
don't
Who
know.
knows? Yeah.
Godwin, what
There's
a
a couple
name.
other guys.
Wow.
There's J. Chris Newberg is another
Oh,
guy.
yeah,
and then
yeah,
there's,
that's right. Weird
Boy,
Al.
few.
It was Weird Al.
Fun fact: we talked about stand-up. You play guitar on Something to Take the Edge Off.
Yeah.
One of the best comedy albums of all time.
That's you.
Yeah.
How about that?
And you toured.
right.
There's got to be. We didn't run this by you beforehand, but you toured England with Stanhope. There's got to be
Yeah.
a couple of nuggets in there, I imagine.
Aha, Nuggets.
6
Oh,
weeks,
man.
couple months in England with Doug.
There were a couple of well, yeah. I mean, it's just his personality was so hilarious. You know, he's so over the top, grumpy. Mm-hmm. Like if there was ever any mistake about whether Americans are awful, like they're probably like, oh God, this guy's the worst. Like they do a fire drill every day in the hotels. It
What?
was amazing.
Really?
Yeah, it was like at
What,
noon
like a
or
drill?
something.
You
Yeah,
sure it wasn't Doug just
it was
pulling it?
it was a real fire drill. No, it's just something that they do. We were in again 38 cities. I think like half of them we had to get up for
Wow.
a fire drill. Yeah,
Oh,
they're
my
just
God.
like practicing it.
Brutal.
And Doug finally stopped even putting on his clothes when he was walking out because everybody gets out, and at one point he's just like in his boxers and a big trench coat, and he's walking out with a cigarette dangling. And this made me laugh because he just goes while we're walking out. He says this was a pretty fancy one. I think this one was in London. And he goes, "Hey, I got a question. What's the difference between doing a fire alarm and then just yelling, 'There's a fire'? Like, isn't that the same exact thing? You know, maybe next time I hear the fire drill, I'm just going to start banging on everybody's doors and say, 'There's a fire! There's a fucking fire! Get out of here!'" And it's just like, nobody's telling me it's a drill. You're just doing it. And
Right,
we're all
right.
doing this shit, you know? But,
I feel like I've had fire drills at hotels and just not gone. I just keep sleeping.
Yeah, I've heard fire alarms go off. If it was a drill, I didn't even realize.
Yeah,
I just was like, oh,
exactly.
something fucked up here. So
Right.
maybe I was supposed to be alarming, but
No,
it
if
didn't.
I saw smoke, I'll go out, but I'm not going for a drill.
It's funny though, because in school, a fire alarm was the best because you got out of school for a
loved
while.
it,
I would
loved
be
it.
thrilled.
Yeah.
yeah, there were a lot of negativity. The theme of the whole trip was nothing is easy, and nothing was. Like every time you saw something that looked like it was going to be a cinch, you know, right here they've got a convenience store, but there'd be something that would fuck it up. Like
Right.
we were at this hotel, and I wanted to get Benadryl, and Doug wanted to get something, so we went to the front desk and we said, "Is there any kind of some kind of a convenience store or something?" And she goes, "Oh yeah, there's the whatever the equivalent of like Dwayne Reed was or whatever."
Yeah.
And we went, and there was like a 5-foot stone wall, and it was like we could kind of see that there was a place on the other side of this wall, but it's like, what the hell? So we start walking around the wall. We didn't know which way to walk, so apparently we took the long way, and we're walking for like. It felt like we were walking for like 5 minutes, and we're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Is there an opening in this thing? And then we go back, and then Doug's really pissed off, and it was like, well, how do we get in that fucking place? And she's like, well, there's a little opening. If you walk long enough, then you'll see the opening. But, a lot of times, if I don't really feel like walking, I'll just jump over it, And he's like, you jump over a 5-foot wall? What the fuck's wrong with you guys?
Yeah.
And why is there a wall? But it's like, we're so used to people wanting their business.
Yeah,
right.
But we wouldn't put a 5-foot stone wall in front of the place that goes around the whole thing. It was
Right.
unbelievable.
London,
But
huh?
there was a lot of that kind of shit.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, Doug Stanhope, such a fun nut. I did the Impractical Jokers cruise, and I was like, oh my God, Doug Stanhope's on the cruise. I want to watch his set. And he didn't do one set. He was just there
Oh,
on the
man,
cruise.
just hanging out.
Just hanging out,
That's
drinking.
hilarious.
Hawaiian shirt, shorts, flip-flops, and he had a crazy hat on every day. And just one of those big drinks that's like got 8 pieces of fruit in it and a couple umbrellas,
Yeah.
every day. And I begged him to do a set on one of my shows, like Open, and he just went up and complained about bingo. And like,
They had bingo
Totally.
on the cruise.
yeah. Oh, that's his wife for the layman.
Yes.
But then he just buried me because he was like pissed the crowd off, and I had to like dig out of a hole.
Oh yeah, no, that would be pretty tough.
Yeah.
No, it's amazing, but it's like I'm proud. Like the 2 little tidbits that I brought up were just like just the little slices of life that I can remember from this huge tour that we did. But there was like, yeah, there was a lot of it that was crazy. There was one show that he was so drunk for, he just wound up walking almost the whole audience.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that town, I think but he's calculated about it. Like he asked his manager, Brian, ahead of time. It's like, is this one that we really need on the books? Mm-hmm. And he's like, nah. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be talking about this kind of stuff. It's kind of personal, I guess.
Well,
nobody listens.
He was the first
All right,
comedy
good.
show I ever saw, live comedy show, and he was shithouse, and I was like, "This is comedy? I could do this." You know?
Oh, yeah,
It wasn't even good.
Right.
Yeah, well, I mean,
This just turns
you
into us
caught him
talking
on
about
that kind of
Stand-Up
night.
Sucks.
Yeah.
I love him.
terrible.
I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, one of the best. What now? I want to hear the story because it's in the It's depicted in the new movie, the part that Brendan Walsh plays. Because I've never actually heard that story from you. I've only seen it depicted in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hit us with that one? 'Cause
Oh,
that
yeah.
seems like a real humdinger.
A guy comes up to me, and it was before I was going to do a show, and he's got like his girlfriend and another couple, and I was pretty excited. I was like, wow, this is the first time I've actually got actual fans coming to see me at a show. And the guy's like, yeah, no, I can't wait to see you. I've been telling them about you. We were listening to your CD. And it's like, please tell me, are you going to do the bitch song tonight? And I was like, you know what? I'm kind of tired of doing that one. I don't think I'm going to do it. And the guy kind of does this thing where he's like, ah, man. And he kind of like nods his head, but he does it to the left, and he doesn't realize there's a parking meter right in front of his face.
What?
Yeah, so he just goes, oh, man, kunk, and he bashes his nose right into the parking meter.
Holy shit.
And just like immediately there's blood.
Yeah.
And he's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, it's just like, for him, it's the equivalent of being hit in the face with a parking meter
Sure,
out
sure.
of nowhere. Like, but it's even worse because he actually put his face into it, like,
Yeah.
you know, and it's embarrassing and everything like that. And, well, he basically broke his nose. He couldn't go to the show that night. Like, they all had to leave. He's like, what the fuck? And his date's like, no, you have to go to the hospital. Yeah, you broke your nose for sure. And he's like, what the fuck? What the fuck happened? And, he's apologizing to me, and he's like, oh, man. And they were still out there for a little while. The club, it was the Upfront Comedy Club in Santa Monica, which is no longer there. And they did improv, which always made me laugh that the Improv doesn't do improv. They do stand-up.
Right.
And at the Upfront, they do improv.
Oh, that's fun.
But,
that's like you park in a driveway and drive in a parkway.
Yeah.
It's very similar. It's
Yeah.
the inside baseball comedy version of that. No, but so anyway, it was a giant window in front, like you could see everything that's going on in the club. And so I went in there, and he was still out there dealing with all that shit, you know, like first aid and stuff out on the sidewalk. And I was in there, and I was trying to tell somebody what had just happened.
Yeah.
And I'm, of course, laughing about it because it's kind of, at this point, it's just ridiculous. And so I'm laughing, and picture you're on the sidewalk and you just broke your nose, and a guy that you're a fan of, you just look inside a window and you see him silently
Right.
reenacting a guy hitting his head in the parking meter, and everybody just going up into huge guffaws, like everybody laughing really hard. As soon as and he's probably like, "Ah, fuck, man, I made it." Now it's like the biggest story,
Right. And now he's going to be in the movie,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is exciting.
Yeah, I wonder, and this has been a very long time, so I wonder if he'll eventually see the movie and just be like, this looks really familiar.
Right.
What the fuck? Oh, shit.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I feel like you should have given him a part in the movie or something like
Yeah.
that. Oh, that's great.
It sucks to have a fan, and then you lose them right away.
No, I know. Well, yeah, and so in the movie we play it that there's like just a big empty table where my fans would be that eventually gets absorbed by some bachelorettes.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
One of them's Sarah Talamash. Very exciting.
Does
Yeah.
she act like all annoying and...
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, she's great.
She acts like herself, huh, guys?
Right?
Women, these cunts.
Ooh, the worst. They should be allowed to vote.
Kidding, of course. By the way, can I slip a thing in? I forgot to tell this in the last podcast. This just happened to me the other day. I was flying to Dayton, which I love. You can do
Yeah.
Dayton a
Oh,
bunch,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Wiley's, which is a great club. Which, by the way, Emo Phillips, his favorite city is Dayton. Did you know that?
What?
He went on his
I would have
honeymoon
never
to
guessed
Dayton,
that.
Ohio. Yeah, and they used to have a comedy condo. And that's no longer there. It's a hotel, and he's like pissed about it. He loved the condo.
Weird.
Fascinating
Oh, yeah.
guy.
What a loon.
Do you know Emo at all?
I do. As a matter of fact, he's got a great joke about Dayton where he says, did you know that this is the 100th anniversary of the last time that Dayton had anything to be proud of? And I don't know if he was talking about the Wright brothers or something like that, but it's so I'm surprised to find out that that he actually is a fan of that.
Well, he loves it. There's a barbecue place that's great. His headshot is there. He had his honeymoon in Dayton, Ohio.
kooky.
Wow.
He goes to Wiley's all the time. I guess he's good buddies with
Oh
Wiley.
yeah,
with,
with Rob Haney.
with
Yeah,
Haney,
yeah,
yeah.
No, that's where I met him. We hung out, and he's amazing.
But I love his joke about you can't get a good bagel in Germany. Well, whose fault is that? That's a fun one. But anyways, I was flying to Dayton, and I'm not a tough guy, as you guys are aware. Although I was pretty tough in that last episode. But anyways, I was on the plane, and this big fucking maniac guy gets on the plane, like a white fella, big muscle guy, tattooed knuckles, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And he's got a diamond earring, which is always fun with a tough guy.
Yeah.
I just imagine a tough guy looking in the mirror and be like, my ears aren't sparkly enough.
Right.
I'm not saying if you have an earring and you're a man, you're effeminate or whatever, but it just seems silly to be like, I got to get some sparkles involved.
I never
in
got
my
that
ear.
either. Like tough black guys always have the big diamond. And
Yeah.
you're like, what are you doing?
I got to have a shiny ear.
Yeah. Why the jewelry?
But the guy gets on, he sits next to me like in the middle seat, which you always don't want a maniac, and he's just saying cunt. He's calling the flight attendants cunts.
Wow.
Yeah, he's like, these cunts, they don't know how to. He's from Wisconsin, I think. He's like, these cunts, they don't know how to book a flight. They don't know how to put a fucking cunts. Like that volume.
Whoa.
And then he looks at me, but I have to go with him because he's scary. So I was like, I know, these helpful women with the free sodas. These,
Right.
the cunts. And then 20 minutes into the flight, he passes out. He just falls asleep, which is adorable to see like a tough guy sleeping.
He's tuckered out.
Yeah, like I was just like, oh, that's like the equivalent of like a baby crying and then just needs to be put down.
Yeah.
Like, I just
Right.
need a little nappy poo.
Yes.
So he was sleeping with like mouth open next to me. And anyways, it was terrifying. But
Oh, man.
no other issues. But
Yeah.
I thought it was crazy.
Yeah. I was on the plane once, and there was a guy. There was like a skinny white kid in the window seat, and he's like comfortable. And then this huge black dude came over, and he's just like, that's my seat." And the kid goes, "Well, no, I've got 13F. What's yours?" And the guy's just like, "I don't care, man. That's my seat." And the guy gets up and he just, okay, take it. But
So you had to sit in the
yeah,
middle?
I don't know if it's racial. I feel bad that I had. That I
Yeah,
had
we're
to
painting
say that,
pictures.
but
We paint
to
pictures.
me, it makes it funnier for
Of
some
course it makes it
But
funnier.
yeah, no. So this guy just basically gave his seat up to the
Oh,
guy.
wow.
I would not
'Cause
have
he
given
didn't
that
wanna
up.
deal with it.
I'm not a tough guy, but I wouldn't give
Yeah.
that up.
No way, because that's a situation where you can be like, no, this is my seat.
You
It's
you
assigned.
booked it. Yeah. Fuck you.
Yeah.
He was just like, yeah, okay. And then he just waited for all the seats to be filled, I guess. And
Damn.
Then, yeah.
Wow.
What a pushover.
I had a weird one the other day where I sat in someone's seat because there was a big fat woman in my seat, and I feel bad when you're fat. You have less chance of people asking you to move because I'm like, I can see what an effort it's going to be. She's going to have to hold the oxygen mask to pull herself up. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
So I just sat in the aisle next to her, even though I was supposed to be in the window. And then this guy comes and he's like, "You're in my seat." And I was kind of being like, well, I didn't want to be a dick because I don't like.
Yeah, you
so
don't
I had to be
like-
like, well, my seat is like hoping she'd be like, "Oh shit, am I in your seat?" But she didn't. So I had to be like, I'm like giving like the head nod. This lady, and she was one of these kooks that I think it's an intelligence thing. If they probably do studies that talks to herself out loud, which I think that means you're a dum dum.
Uh-huh.
Like
Yeah.
she's like, "Here we go, going on a flight."
Oh, I hate that.
Off to the
what is
flying
that?
machine, like
Yeah.
saying things out loud. And then
God.
finally she was like, "Am I in your seat?" And I was like, "Yeah." So then I was in her seat. But then it turned out she wasn't in my seat. She was supposed to be 2 rows up and left.
Uh-huh.
She was supposed to be in a window 2 rows up. She's like, "I just knew my seat was in the back.
Yeah.
So I just went to the back." And I'm like, that's bananas to me. That it says 36F. And you were like, the back. I'll just go to the back somewhere.
Yeah.
So then the person that was supposed to be in this seat sat in her seat, and then the guy that was supposed to, so everyone's in a different seat just because she was like, the back, that's my
Right,
seat.
right.
And then she's, taking up 6 seats because she's, wildly
Stupid.
overweight.
Oh,
and stupid.
yeah. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Fat chick.
A-
I
Obese
have
and
a
dumb.
train story about an
Bovine whore.
overweight guy.
Hit us.
I was on the Amtrak once, and everybody filed to get on, and there's this completely empty car, and everybody's filling it, and I was in the back. There's a couple of people in front of me in line who's just huge, just really wide, fat guy, and yeah, I'm not even insulting him, but it's an important
No, we're
part of the
painting
story.
pictures.
It's
Yeah,
an important
things.
part of the story.
Yeah, we're painting.
Big fat brush.
So we get in, we get on the train, and the way it works out is everybody takes their seats, and there's one last pair of seats, and I'm the odd guy, so I actually get 2 seats.
Ooh.
Yeah, and that's just sort of the way the numbers worked out because I was the very last one.
Yeah, lucky
And I
day.
was like, holy shit. And it was in Houston, so the next stop is El Paso, which is like 11 hours later.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is great, and it's 10 p.m. I'm gonna sleep all night. This is
Yeah.
unbelievable that I have my whole little couch to myself.
Right.
And so, sure enough,
boy.
so I overhear the overweight gentleman a couple of seats in front of me calls over the porter guy.
You
and
just
he
hear,
goes,
hey.
yeah, and I close my eyes, and I'm just kind of like, playing dumb.
Yes.
And I hear the guy say, hey, as you can see, I'm a big guy, and there's this guy in the back who's skinny, and he's got 2 seats. I'm burdening the person next to me by being, in her seat, and so doesn't it make more sense to you that I should be in that seat?
I'm appalled.
So the porter guy goes, look, I can't do anything about that because you only bought 1 seat. Now, if you want to go ask that gentleman, and that's when I went right into fake sleep mode.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
smart.
was completely
And stretch
pretending
out a
to be.
little.
Yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah. No, I was completely
Snore,
stretched out.
take your pants
yeah,
off.
yeah.
Do a starfish.
Yeah, and so he's like, if you want to go ask that guy, okay, I'll ask him. And so then I'm just like, this is my big moment here. So I'm just like,
Oh, yeah.
and,
Ferris Bueller, baby.
Yeah.
I've got like pretending like I've got like sleep apnea or something, just trying to really make it convincing. And then
Yeah,
the guy's
get a
just like,
boner.
yeah. And all of a sudden, all I hear close to my face, because my eyes are closed, is I hear, "Excuse me, sir." He's like, he's not saying anything. He's not answering. Sir. I think he's awake. He can't possibly be asleep.
He said that?
I
Yeah,
hate
yeah,
this
he
guy.
said that. And I'm just like,
Who's this fat dick?
I'm just like, and finally, eventually, he touches me. He actually sort of hits my shoulder, and he's like, "Hey, buddy," and I just went like, like shook and
smart.
Like,
Well, this is
and
an
he's
amazing
like,
piece
"Oh,
of
man."
acting.
Yeah, well, and also,
Did you have a feather going up and down as you snored?
yeah, exactly. But what's that reasoning though? It's like, look, I'm overweight. I know, it's a disease to a certain extent or whatever, but
no, he's a slob.
well, I mean, yeah, but it is a self-induced one. But it's like, well, why should he be able to get? I mean, I'm enjoying it
Exactly.
just as much as he would be enjoying it.
And
you
he
know?
got to eat donuts for years.
yeah,
and
you
you held back.
And this is the way that this is the rules. Like it's like if I said, hey, look, I had a lot to drink last night. I'm very hungover. There's a little old lady that's got her own fucking sleeping car. I should get the sleeping car,
Exactly.
right? I should be able to lie down. It's like, well, sir, she paid for that. No, I'm more
I'm
drunk than
hungover.
she is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say the same
Yeah.
thing. Like obesity is a disease, but alcoholism is a disease. That's like me
Yeah.
going, I'm gonna get shit faced and just throw my arms about crazy, and I don't want to punch anyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
I kick my legs around,
Right.
and I'm gonna be throwing up everywhere.
Yeah.
it's a disease.
Right.
What?
It was totally fucked
So did
up.
you end up?
What
Have you
happened?
guys ever done that? Oh, no. I was in there till the next night.
Yeah.
yeah.
Good for
No,
you, buddy.
absolutely.
Thank God.
And then it was pretty funny because the next night, a guy sat next to me who smelled so bad.
I had
It
one
was
of those
like
ones.
it was a combination of and you get a whole different level on the train for some reason. Even though the train's more expensive than the plane, but
Right.
this is just like, it smelled like a mixture of urine and tobacco.
Ooh,
and
I'm into
like-
that.
And
Interesting.
like,
Might as well be.
alcohol, I guess.
Oh, yeah,
And
might have sat next to my dad.
yeah, yeah, and so I told the guy, I think they're called the porters. Yeah, this guy was the guy who's the head of the car or whatever. When you're doing these long cross country train trips, and I told the guy, and I go, look, I'm not even trying to insult him, but he just smells so bad. I keep on saying I'm not insulting somebody, and then I just insult him. No, but I go,
Well,
he just smells.
Painting a picture.
Yeah, he smells
Stinky
so
brush.
bad that I just can't even. You just have to find me some other. I've never complained about any of this kind of stuff. I'm
Yeah.
usually pretty highly tolerant about this, but this one's ridiculous. And the guy that I'm telling it to started laughing, and he was just like, "Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah."
That's old Ricky.
listen.
Yeah, Stinky Pete.
He goes, "All right, thanks for telling me, man. Yeah, I'll move you, and I'm gonna save that guy for the next dude who comes up and gives me shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So that's what they're doing. They're thinking, all right, they're either saving the smelly guy for the next person who's an asshole, and they're gonna say, well, I can put you in this seat.
Right.
Yeah. I had a flight story. This really pissed me off. But I'm a big aisle fan. I like the aisle. That's my seat.
Of course.
So I go in. I like, here we go. You know, it's like 6A. Love that aisle. And I get there, and there's an old Mexican lady sitting there. Like, this lady's like death's door, the whole thing.
Yeah.
She's about 4'1", tiny, clenching like an old Bible, the whole thing. She's got a shawl on, a little hat. And I go, hey, you crazy cunt. You're in my seat. And she goes, she's saying something in like Sanskrit, and I'm like,
man.
I know, I got the aisle, and she goes, and I'm like, you're in the middle, and I'm just like motioning like middle, that's you, me here, because I'm just going off order and logic. Like, I have this ticket, this is my seat, and she was going, I just I can't do. She's basically like, I can't do the middle. But she's speaking in tongues,
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
I was like, middle. And she's like, I got that. So I just had to be like, okay. And then I just waddled past her and sat in the middle, and that was it. 5-hour flight.
These
Oh,
old
that
fat
sucks.
bags.
What can you do?
Yeah, the big blacks, the fat whites, the old
It'd
the
be
old
great. It'd
cunts,
be
they're
great.
all running the place.
It'd be great if on the way out she's like, thank you very much for taking the middle. I really appreciate that.
Appreciate it, dog.
Welcome to our presidential debate between Donald Trump,
Thank you, sweetheart.
Bernie Sanders,
I'm honored that the American people are devoting their time to us tonight.
and Hillary Clinton.
Where is she? Is she still in the toilet again? I hope she's not deleting any more emails.
I am so sorry. I was in the little girl's room.
Hill, maybe you should get yourself a squatty potty.
A what?
Squatty potty. It's the small toilet stool. It puts yourself in the correct angle. So, you can go better.
Sanders, I think you're full of it. Heck, you believe unicorns can make rainbows.
I am not full of it. Since I've been using Squatty Potty, I'm able to let it all go a lot easier. Squatty Potty can get our country moving again.
There's no debate. Squatty Potty, as seen on Shark Tank and made in the USA, will guarantee better eliminations. Go to electsquattypotty.com for free express delivery and discreet packaging. Squatty Potty has an exclusive 60-day guarantee and is available at all Bed Bath & Beyond and Target stores. Go to electsquattypotty.com today.
Get America moving again. Invest in a squatty potty.
Celebrity voices are parodies and not endorsements.
This is Sherrod Small
and Kurt Metzger
of the Race Wars podcast. Check out our podcast
to hear the very first interracial friends in history.
Right. That's right.
That's right. We're the first.
We are.
The first real interracial friends talking about race openly and without fear. And there ain't nothing like it anywhere.
That's
You're
right.
cheating yourself if you're not listening.
You can find new and archived episodes of Race Wars on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and TuneIn.
Yeah.
So check it out.
One time I was in the back, and then we'll move from the plane at some point.
Oh,
But we
no.
gotta-
Love a
But
plane.
so I'm in the very back, and it's right next to the bathroom, and people kept going to the bathroom, and it was annoying. I was half asleep, and there was a middle-aged housewife type woman walking out of the bathroom, and she left the door open, and it smelled. And I don't know what. I think because I was almost asleep that I was sort of in that mode where I was like, 15 years old and hanging out at my house with my brother or something like that. But I just went to her. I went, "Can you close the door?" like that. And she's just, I'm sorry. Yeah. But I basically was just saying, yeah, come on. You just stank up the whole fucking place back here.
Hey, yeah, lady.
Yeah, it's always weird. It's a weird territory when women stink.
Yeah.
Because I've had that recently where a roommate of a person whose house I was staying at, my girlfriend's roommate, took like a big shit, and you don't realize
She has a female roommate?
Yeah, there should be an extra light or something because it feels extra weird. Because here's why I feel weird: I know that they're embarrassed. They're like,
oh, I know,
beside themselves. They just blew it up, and then I'm walking in. But there's no like women can't be like, hold on, I just fucking blew the shit out of that.
That's true.
So they just have to cringe and like shut the door and hide under the
Right.
pillow because now I'm just smelling girl shit.
That might be why these chicks they always have the candle in there. They have the
Yeah.
scented candle and the air freshener because
Yeah.
they can't have that lifestyle. They can't have
It's
that like,
more-
woo!
more
Don't
embarrassing.
go in there.
Yeah, it's hard because
You guys should do an intervention with her about her shit.
Well,
we have to talk to you about your shits. They're just too smelly.
Yeah, I don't want to make it seem like, because normally they're just butter and ice cream. They're nice shit. I never noticed, but this one, she must have worked out and ate a can of beans or something because it was a wacky one.
Oh man!
But I don't mind a stinky. I like the smell of shit, but I feel bad
that
for
right?
the. Well, not exactly, but.
My neighbor came over to my place one time and said she needed to use my bathroom because there was something wrong with her plumbing. So I was like, okay. And she goes in there, and she's in there for a longer time than I was expecting. I thought it was going to be urination. I just assumed. And she's in there just a little too long. And then all of a sudden I start hearing the shower running.
Whoa, wow.
And I'm like, wait, what's going on in there?
Bad shit.
And it's a long time. And then finally she comes out and she goes, and by the way, the only other conversation I had with her was when she told me that she believed in ghosts.
Grow up.
Anyway, so she
Grow up,
comes out,
sister.
she gets out of the bathroom.
Were you out of toilet paper?
And I don't even remember, but she goes, that was so weird. I was in there and I was like trying to go to the bathroom and I couldn't for some reason. And I don't know. I had to turn the water on because I think there might be something in our psyche that when we hear running water, it might help us urinate. Like she's just going off a mile a minute. Like maybe when we were cavemen and it's got to do with the fight or flight response and water. Like she's just rambling like a crazy person for the longest time. And then she goes, anyway, but all right, thank you very much for letting me use that, and I'll see it. And then she leaves, and I go into the bathroom.
Was it baby?
No, it smells like completely fresh poo. Like it's just, she clearly just took a shit.
Right.
But was she trying to convince me with all this double talk that somehow or another I was going to be like, oh, well, I mean, it smells like shit. But I mean, she clearly said that she just pissed and that's what was taking her so long. But it was like she actually thought that she could somehow hide it or something like that.
Well, she figured I'll talk about the water running and that'll give it time to air out.
You talk long enough.
She thought, and probably since sometimes you can't smell your own odors, she probably was like, oh, I don't smell it at all. And I thought it'd be funny to next time I see her, just like, that was so weird because remember you went in there and you were having such a hard time, and then the water. Well, right after that, a ghost took a shit in there because it totally smelled like shit.
Yeah, evidently the cavemen needed to run water before they took a dump too.
Yeah.
Now my girlfriend, she'll warn me, and she gave me permission to talk about this. She'll warn me that she's pooping, but she didn't realize she was doing it for years because she would say, which is the only time she ever talks like that. So I'm like, I know you're shitting. And she's like, what? How do you know? And I'm like, because that's the only situation you ever whisper something. You're never like, we should go get Chipotle.
Yeah.
She goes, I have to go to the bathroom. And makes like a weird face. So I'm like, just go take a shit. I don't care. We're friends.
Yeah.
We should get married.
Tell the story, speaking of smells and trying to mask it, with the one-on-one gas situation.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Wait. Let me think.
I love a gas story.
One-on-one
You do it in your
gas,
act. The story you tell in your act.
Yeah. No,
That's
well, this
one.
one, yeah, sure. A buddy of mine had called me about his ex-girlfriend, and he was like, did she seem kind of off to you? Like, just a little kind of crazy. And I was happy that he asked me because the very first time that he introduced me to her, we went to a restaurant, and there's nobody there. And it's just she and I, and he winds up going out to make a phone call, so it's literally just she and I talking for like 2 minutes. And all of a sudden, 2 minutes into the conversation, I start to smell a fart a little bit. And I'm obviously an adult. She's an adult. Like, I'm not going to bring it up.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be like, I'm just going to ignore it because that's the right thing to do at our age. And all of a sudden, she says to me, she goes, wait, did you fart? And I was like, yeah, I was like, no, and nice try. But I was thinking, like, you can't fart and blame it on the only other person in the room, right? Like, that's crazy. So, like, and I was trying to tell her, like, obviously, if there's a third, if Carl was still here, then there's a chance that I might think it's him.
Yeah,
and he could think
yeah.
it's me. So if you have 3 people, you can create a reasonable doubt situation. But
Right.
in this case, I was like, it's going to be impossible for you to convince me that
Yeah.
I'm the one who
Right.
farted.
No
You're
guy's
going to
like-
lose that argument.
Maybe I did.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
my
yeah.
asshole leaked when I
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
aware.
A damn ghost.
Yeah, and so, but yeah, just like the balls of that to try to think you farted, didn't you?
Yeah, right.
But
And just not even know, like, no, whatever. Oh yeah, because that was another thing that was funny. I was like, it's impossible for you to make me think I farted right now. And then she goes, what? It's impossible for you to fart? What? And I'm just like,
Boy, she's good.
she's
Yeah.
crazy.
Manipulative.
Jedi.
So
Yeah.
so I told my buddy, I go, yeah, she was batshit out of her mind, and I never told you that story, but I'm glad that you brought it up.
But see, because that's I think it might be societary though, because we got to change it. We got to open it up where girls can just be like, I got to take a fat dump, because
Yeah.
otherwise we have all these crazy kooky situations. But it is societary or upbringing, because I've been in places where a girl's like, I got to take a shit, and you're like, oh, what a whore, what a
Yeah,
weirdo.
what a trashy
Well,
lady.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
well, yeah. There's a friend of ours out in L.A. who does that. She said
Jenny McCarthy.
one time. She goes, "I'm not gonna lie to you, Chief. I got to take a big old shit."
See, I kind of
And,
like that.
But what was funny is, like, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's like, I didn't ask you. You don't have to tell the truth if nobody asks you. Like,
Right,
that's not lying.
Right.
Yeah, it's okay, and it's also okay if you wanted to lie about that.
Yeah. Sometimes I think I'm like a girl that grabs my hair and farts in my face. You know,
Yeah,
and then,
yeah.
you know, it makes me come on my own tits.
That's hot.
One last quick plain tidbit.
Oh, lay it on
This one
me.
happened to me. Have you ever had it where I do this all the time. I don't know if anybody else does this. Maybe I'm crazy, but like I'll just think of something that makes me laugh, hours after the thing happened, and I'll
course.
just laugh out loud.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was on the plane doing that, and I always put in my earbuds, and I've got like my static, the white noise app so that it helps me sleep. Yeah, it's great. It blocks out all the crying babies and everything. And but so I put those on. This is shortly after we take off, and I thought of something that happened like 4 hours ago that just made me laugh full on right at that moment. So I just was just like like that. Like, it must have been pretty loud too, because I see like a bunch of rows in front of me, all these people turning around, just going
Yeah.
like, what the hell? But when they saw the headphones, when they saw the earbuds, they must have been like, oh, okay, great. He's listening to like a podcast, or maybe he's listening to a comedy CD or whatever. But then it made me laugh again. Like, if they could hear what was going on in my ear, all
right.
it would be is just they'd be like, oh, this guy's completely out of his brain. There's
Right,
not
right.
even anybody saying anything, and he's
Right,
laughing.
Right.
You got to hear this is gold.
I want to hear it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, you're fucking nuts.
Yeah, right.
But I've had that though, when you're supposed to be laughing. I've started laughing at funeral, like my grandmother's funeral.
Oh, yeah.
Where I think we've talked about this before, but it's funny to me. There's a natural thing when you're not supposed to be laughing. This sounds like the urinating shower running thing.
Yeah.
But when you're not supposed to be laughing, it makes you that thing in your head gets like, it'd be fun to laugh right now.
Oh, totally.
But my grandmother's dead there, and they put makeup on her. She said it's a dead person in a room. I guess the Jews don't do this, but there's just a dead body sitting there. We're all huddling around a dead body,
man.
looking at him like, this is fucking hilarious.
It's
What a
wacky.
funny thing.
Yeah.
This is a
Yeah, I
lifeless
don't-
dead person.
Right.
Because if you see a dead person out in the street, like, I saw a dead body, it's traumatizing. But if it's a relative, you're just like, let's huddle around a dead body.
Yeah, in a suit and makeup.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is kooky. And we're
Yeah.
just laughing.
I'm not down with that either. I don't think I've actually ever been in that situation. I've had the opportunity to.
Yeah, it's strange because you'll have people be like, have you ever seen a dead body? I'm like, I've seen like 9 of them.
Right.
I was wearing a tie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was looking at it. And then
Right.
some people will start talking to it. They're like, I loved you, you
Yes.
fucking knucklehead.
Oh,
Well,
that's
the worst
crazy.
when you have to pay your respects, so you're just like, hey, Uncle Bert.
Yeah. I'm just staring at my dead grandpa. It's
Yeah.
fucking bizarre.
Right.
And it's not creepy. It's just silly to me.
You don't think I think it's a little creepy.
It's creepy, but the emotion that hits me more is funny. And I'm
Yeah,
like, what a
yeah.
funny thing. There's a dead guy. This guy is lifeless.
Yeah.
He's a dead person.
It's weird.
I don't like
Somebody
it.
dressed him. That's weird.
That's
too.
real weird. Yeah, sticking a pant leg on a
Yeah,
dead guy. They're
right.
moving his balls
Oh, I
around.
know.
Right,
We
the
just sort
shoe.
of assume that that everything's okay with these people that do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's somebody that annually every day looks at a dead dick. That's very odd.
It's gotta be awful.
Yeah, dead cock.
Yeah, the
blew my
dick
mind.
sometimes likes to flop out there. And it's
Right,
like you're
right.
holding a dead dick. dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That seems fun.
I'd like to flick a dead dick.
Wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
How much to put one in your mouth, would you say? What are you
How
talking
much
minimum
money?
here? 75K?
Dead dick. Is it a decent dick?
It's fresh dead.
Fresh
decent
dead,
dick, 4
okay.
inch.
4 inch.
A medium.
Is it rigor mortis yet?
I don't know what that means.
Hard.
That's when they get hard.
Oh, okay. I think fresh.
I'm not talking about the
It's erect.
say
when the
if-
dick an erection. Yeah, no, it's when a
Flaccid.
dead body gets hard.
What if I thought that's what that word meant and I started using that word? Hey, baby, I'm rigor mortis over here.
I've got some rigor mortis going for you, babe.
So give me a number there.
I'd say flaccid, put it in my mouth and slosh it around a little bit. I'd go $5,000.
$5,000?
Yeah.
I've got it. I've got
not bad.
$5,000.
All right. Well, bring on Bin Laden.
What if we
300.
pretended?
Can I throw the cum in the face thing out at Henry real quick?
Please.
Just give us 2 minutes. The last
All right.
episode we talked, I just want to dedicate 2 minutes to this.
Yeah, sure.
The last episode we talked about, me and my friend were on a long comedy road trip. You know, you got to kill the time. Mm-hmm. So we were coming up with all these would you rather, boo-boo-boos. If you had the ability to cum, you take your own cum. Sorry, it's a classy show.
That's all right.
And just whip it in a woman's face, a stranger. But as soon as you do it, you get to hand her a briefcase of $800,000. Would you do it? And if so, how often would you do it? Because you're changing her life. And you can just apologize. You can be like, I'm really sorry about that.
That's really good. Yeah.
Here's a face cloth, some soap. I'm sorry.
Do they pick the girl? Like,
No, you do. You can just walk.
Oh,
you
I
can
can pick-
You can do it to your sister, your ex-friend,
but
your buddy.
I can't tell them ahead of time.
No,
hey,
you gotta just
no.
blast them.
You gotta do it.
Some of the
So
hot load.
I would probably do it to the person that I thought would be the most cool with it.
And need
Yeah.
the money.
Yeah.
Someone that's
I'd be
okay
like,
with a load.
my friend Lisa. I'd just be like, I'm so sorry I have to do this, but here you go. I'm gonna slap cum on your face.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it all. If I could choose who it is, then
Yes,
I would do it.
Yeah, it's your power. That's your superpower.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark wants to try to get some of the money back.
I
Yeah.
feel like I could negotiate a little bit. Like, here's $800,000, but
Yeah, you
can I
gotta-
have $20?
You gotta admit,
Yeah, I'm just
I
giving
kind
you
of
free money
just
here.
hooked you up with that.
Yes. Come on.
All right, it's good to
Man.
know.
So hey, you guys will like this because you're comedians. The place that I worked last week, there was a boxer who was also there, and he's playing he's doing a fight in the 3,000 seater that they've got at this casino.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the comedy club, which is not even a proper comedy club. It was like in a ballroom, or not a ballroom. Is that what they call them? Those like hotel
Yeah.
conference
Yeah, like a
Conference
ballroom,
room.
function room,
whatever.
function hall.
Yeah, multi-purpose. There could be a PowerPoint meeting there, or it could be a comedy show.
Yeah, I got no ballroom in
And,
these designer jeans.
Yeah, so I had to get up. I flew in there. I got in late Thursday night. Radio started at 6. I had to get up at 5:30 a.m. and meet them in the lobby, and I was there until 10 a.m. And the boxer guy was supposed to go around with me and do all this stuff too, but he slept in.
Of course.
And I was like, well, so yes, what happens? Is there any recourse when they? No, we just it's a real bummer. Because then I'm going, well, shit, I should have slept
Yeah,
in.
exactly.
Right.
Why am I doing this shit? I'm not on a door deal or anything. Okay, and so then do the shows, and I come to find out this story that the manager tells me, yeah, the boxer brought a monkey, apparently. He's got a pet monkey, and apparently it's keeping the neighbors up all night. And he's also doing monkey things, he's shitting in his hand and throwing it around the hotel and everything. What? Then what happens? What's the recourse? Well, we've got him. He's the performer here. And it's like, well, I don't get to, throw shit all over my hotel. I don't get charged $250 or whatever, The last time I tried to throw shit all over my hotel, that's what happened. No, and then sure enough, Sunday morning comes around and I'm leaving, and they give you these food vouchers, and the food voucher that I had said it expired the night before. And they had also told me that apparently the boxer, his thing is he saves up all of his food vouchers and gets a $200 meal or something for he and his wife or whatever.
And his monkey.
Yeah.
Bananas.
So I'm like, well, wait, then I should be able to get breakfast on the way out if you can save up your, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. It gets pretty Larry David minutia thing or whatever. But anyway, bottom line is they did not honor my food voucher.
Oh,
My
wow.
$25 food voucher because they said it expired. And I'm like, can the manager or the entertainment person or somebody just say that. And they're like, no, sorry, sir. And that's the difference between a comedian and a boxer. Like,
Right.
a boxer can bring a monkey who can throw shit all over the place,
Right.
and they'll just be upset with it.
Yeah.
And I can't even get the food and I didn't throw shit around any.
And you went to radio.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was a
Jesus
team
Christ.
player.
Boy, we're in the wrong business.
I know.
We
We
should
should be going up there boxing.
we should be getting the shit
And
kicked
we're
out
more
of us.
likely to have the shit kicked out of us doing
Yeah.
what we do.
Yeah.
Right. I had a thing, and this is very Larry David. Tell me where you stand on this.
I'm
There
with you.
There used to be a club called CB's
Oh, yeah.
in the Village, and they would you'd get a free meal. It was a shit room, but you get a free meal, and the meal was amazing. It was like good food, like lobster,
Wow.
chicken marsala, or eggplant parmesan, whatever. So as a poor comic, you're like, this is all I got. I got to eat this meal. So I had something when my mom was in town, so she took us out to dinner, and I had a spot at CB's. So I didn't want to eat 2 meals. I was stuffed. So I came back the next night, and I go, I'll have the pasta primavera, please. And they whipped it up, and the guy goes, all right, that'll be $800. And I was like, well, I'm a comedian. I performed. And he goes,
Yeah.
oh, you performed? Oh, okay. And he goes, when did you perform? I go, last night. And he goes, well, you get the meal when you perform. And I go, I know, but I performed. I didn't eat. So I'm getting the meal now. And he goes, whoa, you can't. And it was a huge fucking brouhaha.
man.
It was a melee. I had to get the manager in there, and they eventually were just like, get the hell out of here. And
Oh shit!
kicked me out with a broom. But
That's awful.
I didn't get. I was gonna get a meal. It's just same meal. You're
Yeah,
losing
you-
the same amount of shit. It's just different. Time has passed.
Yeah, you
So
owe me
did
a
you
meal.
not? Did you not get your meal free at the end?
I did, but it was like fuck you.
But they
get
hated
out of
you.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
They did like a Jazzy
That
Jeff
sucks.
on me, and threw
Yeah,
me
that's
out.
like if you go to a Burger King and then go the next day to take a piss and you didn't take a piss, you should still be able to take the piss. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't change their.
Nothing has changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a couple hours.
I
have
didn't
gone
have
by.
piss then when I was at the Burger King.
Right.
Hey, I still
I'm
performed.
a customer.
Yeah,
You
you owe
lost
me
a
a
meal.
piss.
Yes.
I
But
saved up my pisses.
the guy couldn't wrap his head around. He's like, "You got to perform now, and then you get a meal." I was like, "What's the difference?
Yeah.
A meal's a meal."
I didn't get a meal last night. I'm getting one tonight.
Yeah, I'm with you.
God. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
I stand with Mark. Hashtag stand with Mark.
But we had
everybody.
a couple comics out there, like it was like what's that thing? It was like
12
the
Angry Men.
The chicken and the egg.
I
Yeah,
see.
yeah. 12 Angry Men. That works. It's like Joe DeRosa's like, nah, that's crazy. You shouldn't have gotten the meal. And then Soder's like, no, I get it. And then it was just everybody was talking about it. It was
It's like the
whole
OJ
thing.
trial.
There you go.
Yes.
Wow.
I say not guilty.
Thank you.
OJ's guilty.
LJ
You're not guilty.
Definitely did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's a bad guy.
Yeah, and
I'm
I-
reading his book right now.
Also have
Hey, can
a
I throw a
list of-
request? Can
Yeah,
we
yeah.
do the? I know you said it's visual, but I love that story about the house, the after hours house with the cigarette.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you
so,
throw that one out there? It's a humdinger.
Yeah, so I went out partying with a bunch of people one night, and then the bars closed, and then we all went to the next place. It was this dude's. They in L.A. There's a lot of these duplexes, so there's like two completely different people that live in the same structure. But
Sure.
so my buddy lived on the bottom. And there was apparently some old guy who lived on the top. And so we go there, and this guy that I knew, James, whose place it was, he was like, all right, everybody, we can come in here. And there's girls and everything. It looks like it's going to be a fun time. I got tons of booze. I've got alcohol. I've got everything. The only thing I ask is you have to be really quiet because there's this old asshole who's upstairs. He's just the most crotchety son of a bitch. And if he knows that there's anybody here, or if we make any noise, he's going to be trying to sleep. He'll call the police, and he's a real asshole. He'll come down. And so they're all like, okay, great. And my friend James is kind of a model type guy, and at one point, like, he's kind of hooking up with this chick, and there's, everybody's having a good time. I'm sort of the odd man out, and I'm like, I'm going to go out and have a cigarette. Mm-hmm. So I go out and have a cigarette out in the front, and I just kind of take a load off and take a sigh, take my first hit of the cigarette, and I lean up against the wall, and I hear this really faint kind of buzzing noise, like I'm like, what the hell is that? And I'm smoking my cigarette, and then all of a
I'm on the edge
sudden,
of my seat here,
and then-
Henry.
Then this old guy comes out from this door.
Calls you a faggot.
And he has a cane and everything and a fucking robe. And
Oh,
he's
wow.
just like, what in the goddamn hell's going on here? what the hell are you doing? And I've noticed that I'm leaning up against the guy's doorbell. I'm leaning against his door buzzer. So
oh my God.
Not only were we making noise,
amazing.
I was literally like the equivalent of just putting my thumb on the guy's buzzer. Just but sure enough, when he opened the door, I could hear it really well. Just and he's like, "What the fuck, bloody hell!" And then, of course, the whole party's busted out. I'm gonna call the goddamn police. And then, yeah, my friend James, who's basically zipping his pants back up and just like, "What the fuck happened? What the fuck did you do?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "I didn't do it. I was smoking. I wasn't loud smoking. I mean, what the hell?" And I don't even think anybody knew that I eventually was the one responsible for that party ending.
The worst kind of noise, too. Not like there was music or anything. You're just ringing his fucking doorbell. Which reminds me of the night you told me that story. The first night was on my front porch. It was you, me, and Sarah and Nikki Glazer. We're all hanging out. It was the summertime. We're on my front stoop or patio.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And we were just telling all these stories, and it's, 4 comedians telling stories for like 3 hours, and it's 2 a.m, and it goes into sex, of course, and everyone's like, I fucked her in the cunt, I blew him, he came in my hair. We're just telling these stories. And then all of a sudden, my Asian neighbors are they're the downstairs neighbors. We're upstairs, and they come in. They're like, whatever. They're screaming at us in Asian.
Yeah.
We're like, Jesus Christ! We're sitting out here, we're having a conversation here.
Man.
Yeah.
Fuck you! What a bunch of assholes! Well, we'll take it upstairs. You do, and we're sitting upstairs for like a half an hour. We're like, what a bunch of fucking assholes! We can't even sit out here. I pay rent. I pay the same rent. And then it starts to like dawn on me, like they have 3 kids, and it's summertime, so their windows are open. So they just have like these 4 assholes telling stories about fucking each other in the ass and coming their hair in the window with their children for like hours, and finally they just snapped. They're like, "It's enough!" And I'm sure they were,
Oh yeah. No, I mean, as comics, we just always forget about the language that we're using because we just are so used to it. There was a time that there's a Christine Levine. Do you know who she is?
Oh yeah.
Amazingly funny, and she also has this great story that the next day was trying to retell the story. Watch her tell her story, but her story was basically, part of it was that there was a guy, she was working at a porn shop, and there was a guy who fucked a piece of sausage and left it there.
The guy did?
Yeah, like a giant, smoked sausage. Yeah, like a big thing like that. Like he came in.
Smoked it, right?
Yeah. But so anyway, the next day, I was at a pool party, and I was telling a few people that story, and everybody's listening to me, and I was just like, yeah, so apparently this guy, I guess he had fucked the sausage in this porn store, and he left it, and then Christine picked it up, and there's just a sausage with a hole and cum in it, and I guess the guy just fucked the sausage and, just left the cum right there. And somebody that I was talking to kind of motioned to be like, hey, look behind you, and I turned around. There's 2 parents and like 4 kids, and they're all looking at me like I'm a monster. Like, are you out of your mind?
Yeah.
But also, what kind of worse story could I
know.
Yes, I guess he fucked the sausage, and they left the cum in the sausage, and and they're just like, oh, you awful fucking human being.
Right.
Yeah. One time
we forget.
I used to get this thing at the Chinese place called egg foo young.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you had it, but it's delicious. It's basically just fried whatever on a plate, and it's all runny and gross and eggy. And I always call it the miscarriage. That's what I call it. I used to go there with my girlfriend. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get the miscarriage and all that. And it was like a fun thing. And I just forgot. It became a name. So then the lady's like, all right, what can I get you? And I was like, I'll take the miscarriage. And she was like, just horrified. And I was like,
oh, yeah, I know.
F6, the miscarriage. And she was like, ah.
You get so used to it.
Yeah.
Well, that's like, we got to start wrapping it up here. But with Sam Morrill and I, one time we were on a road trip, and we kept doing an impression of a friend of ours, a comic, who's a gay comic, and he does a joke about sucking dick, and we kept being like, I love sucking dick. We just kept doing this in the car, and then he's doing it, and Sam's doing it in line at the airport. And I'm like, Sam, what the fuck are you doing? Look at these people here. There's like children everywhere and parents. And he's like, well, they don't know Tom. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not afraid they're going to rat us out.
Yeah.
You're yelling, I want to suck your dick in line in front of their children. It didn't occur to him. Do you have one more story you want to put a ribbon on this puppy?
All right, yeah. Well, why don't I end with, we started with Minneapolis. Why don't we end with Minneapolis?
All right,
Twin
City.
I was working out there with my buddy Patrick Keene and this other
Love
gentleman.
Keene. So funny.
I'm not going to say the name of the headliner that week because I just don't want to. But
Earthquake.
It's a comedian that had just recently found a lot of success and had tons of money and loved to party. And it was Keen and I and this gentleman, and we were just having the time of our lives. We went to this bar afterward, and he was blowing money like there was no tomorrow. And at one point, it starts with us going to this parking lot, and there were some people behind us. I guess the way that it worked is that you put your money into this little slot, and then that covered you for the parking space.
Yeah.
But this gentleman that we were with didn't have it. It was like $4 or something like that, and all he had was a $20 bill. And he's just like, where do I get change? And there was a couple right behind us that was just like again, it's a black couple, and I don't know if that's important or not, but they were like you just go across the street and you get change. And this gentleman that we're with, and I don't want to say his name, it's a little hard to dance around the details of this story, but
large
he was
Afro-American.
He was like, "Oh, fuck it, I'll just put I'll put them." No, he's a white suburban guy,
Okay.
And so he's like, "Ah, fuck it, I'll put the $20." So I just feel like, as if there wasn't enough racial animosity. Now they're just saying, is that what white kids do? They just put the whole $20 for a $4 parking thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
Give $16 to the town.
Yeah, fuck it. And they were just like, what the fuck? I mean, anybody would be. I would be too, but I just wanted to be like, yeah, we don't all do this. This is completely irresponsible to be too lazy to go across the street and get change. So you put $20 in the thing. So anyway, we go inside. We're drinking a lot. I was talking to a girl who was at the show who left her boyfriend to hook up with the guy that we were with, and he had no interest in her whatsoever. So I was talking to her, and she said, this is a side story. She said something like, I don't like your act. And I said, yeah, I don't think girls like my act. And she said, well, I don't think guys do either, because my boyfriend didn't either.
Oh, my
I was
God.
like, all right, well, fuck you. So that was as far as I got with that. But so then later that night, we lost the headliner. And all of a sudden I got a call on my phone saying, where are you guys? And it was from a random number, but it was him. And I go, we're in the parking lot. We're waiting for you. We got lost. And he goes, oh, okay, I'll be right there. I just gave some chick a fucking $100 so that I could use her cell phone because I lost my cell phone. And I was like, what the fuck?
Jesus.
And then, so then we try to figure out what the next thing to do was. And we're like, what happened? Where's your cell phone? He goes, I don't know, but I just saw this chick and she was on the phone. I said, can I use your cell phone to call my friends? Because I knew I had to call you guys. And she was like, no, I'm on the phone. And he goes, I'll give you $100. And she's like, all right, I got to call you back. And then she hangs up and takes $100 bill and then gives it back. And we weren't completely sure that was true or not, but we could see it happening. But anyway, finally, we want to still party. The bar's closed. And so our headliner asked Patrick Keen if he can go into this liquor store and talk them into selling us booze because it's after hours. It's illegal. And so Patrick, who used to sell Bibles at high schools, like his dad was a Bible salesman.
I didn't know that.
Or crucifixes, I think. Crucifixes. What would it be?
Crucify.
Anyway.
Something silly.
But the thing is, if you're a guy who had to sell crucifixes at football games in high school, like you can definitely go in and talk somebody into giving you beer for $200. So
was he from the 30s? I mean, who's buying these at a football game?
Paul Dano and There Will Be Blood.
Orange County. It's kind of like the
Orange
30s.
County. All right.
Yeah. So
crucifixes.
Yeah, I think that's the plural. But anyway, so what happens is our headliner gives Patrick $200. He goes into this 7-Eleven. He can't get the guy to do it. He can't get the guy to give him the money. And then, but in line, he hears. I've got so much pressure because I know that you guys are finishing here. But so then what happens is Patrick talks to a guy who says, "I'll give you $200, and I'll take $200 for all the beer in my fridge, and I have like 40 beers." So we go over to that guy's place, like it's a drug deal or something like that, and this guy's amazed. And so Patrick gives him $200. He's walking out with this case of beer, and this girl is walking into the building, and they see each other, and the guy says, "Hey, how's your night going?" And she's like, "Pretty good." And the guy says, "Mine's going pretty good. Somebody just gave me $200 for my beer." And she goes, "That's nothing. Somebody gave me $100 to use my cell phone."
Wow.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was an amazing. This all happened within about a 3-block.
Wow,
area.
that
Yeah,
sounds like a street joke.
Yeah.
it's like
I
the
know.
punchline of like an old vaudeville joke.
it's unbelievable.
That ain't nothing. This guy.
That's why I wanted to end with it, because it sounds like
That's
a tag.
hilarious.
Yeah.
But a lot of the details, I can't say who the guy is, but I think people will eventually be able to figure it out.
I think I got an idea.
There's a lot of clues in there.
Yeah, I think I got a good guess.
And then also, Patrick Keane is hilarious, and he's the one who was privy to that story as well, so he can back it up.
Yeah, well, I believe you.
And I'll sell you a Bible.
We got to wrap up. We're over time here.
Holy
Boy, we
hell.
got to thank
Shit.
you for coming here, Henry Phillips. Plug the movie and the Twitter and all that business. We
Yeah,
actually have
Henlips.
fans, believe it or not.
At Henlips, and I have henryphillips.com. And no, you guys are great. This is thanks for having me on here.
Yeah, Henry's Twitter is absolutely hilarious.
Ah,
and check out Henry's Kitchen and You and Your Fucking Coffee.
Yeah,
which
I've got new
yeah.
ones coming out. And,
Yeah.
if you go to henryphillips.com, you'll see all the videos. on
Yeah,
there too. So.
Henry Phillips, a true artist and comedian in every sense of the word, and also a brilliant musician as well.
Thanks.
And
guys.
amazing movie, and Punching the Clown coming out, and Hulu, Punching the Clown. You can see it's my favorite
yeah, you can see
movie
it for free right now on Hulu.
Oh,
yeah,
great.
it's my favorite movie about comedy ever, and the second one is great as well, even better. And
And that's HENLIPS.
That's
Yeah.
right.
At Henlips.
and a great Twitter,
Thanks, guys.
and the web series are amazing. You will be a fan. Get on board, for
Yes.
God's sakes.
Funny guy.
All right.
And Mark, you want to plug some stuff there?
At Mark Norm is the Twitter. Hit us on the Tuesdays fan page. Follow us on our fan pages. Joe
Yeah.
List and
Comedian Joe List.
Comedian Joe List and Mark Normand.
Tuesdays
And
with Stories.
hit us on Instagram. Email us and leave a 5-star review on iTunes.
Yeah, go on and leave the 5 stars, leave a review, and grassroots, baby. Tell everybody. We're the Bernie Sanders of podcasts.
Yeah.
All right.
Except we're not Jewish.
Yeah. All right. Smell your cunts. Take care.
Eat me out. Take her easy.